let's talk about where we are. We are in a very good place. Like I mentioned earlier, I did not believe, because of what I was being told, that we would have to wait for President Trump to win this election to let everything go for us. But here he is as president. He's been acting, essentially he's been acting as president the whole time, but he's also been commander-in-chief of the armed forces for the last 4 years too, the last 8 years, 4 when he was president, and then the last 4. And then he'll be taking that full responsibility on. He's already doing executive orders that are going to be helping us. And to let you guys know where we stand now, before I get into that, though, I just remembered one thing I need to talk about. There was some chatter that was put out, and it was really a text or a post that was made that made some allusion to the fact that, if you're a ZIM holder with projects or without projects, you're going to be capped on how much your ZIM is worth and how much you'll get. That's a total lie. It's not true. I've told you guys forever, so I don't think any of you believed it. But I've told you that what we're going to get on the ZIM is on par with the U.S. dollar. And you know what on par means. It means the same as. So we're going to get that for the ZIM. And just don't be dissuaded by everything you read thinking that it's the truth. Or because it's in print, it's got to be true. Not true at all. This was a major mistake that was put out, and it's not something that is true. And, people that do that should know better than to put that out like that. They really should. Before you print something or put something out like that, you have to do your best to vet it and see if it's true. And that was not done in that case. So if you guys know what I'm talking about, great. If not, then it's over your head. Forget it. Doesn't matter. I would say the good news is that we were getting information as early as last Tuesday and yesterday, Wednesday, that we are in a position to receive. But I have to remind you of something. Monday is Veterans Day, and we heard that from Jeannie. And Veterans Day is a bank holiday. Now, even though redemption centers can be open on a bank holiday, they never have before. And so we are not looking at Veterans Day as something to be a start for us. We are also looking at the possibility of everything being released to all parties, bondholders, us in Tier 4B, those in Tier 4A in the Admirals groups, also referring to the R&R, retribution and reconciliation, all of that, the retribution, reconciliation amounts should be occurring because that affects everybody, not just currency holders. If we're in currencies, but we also get the R&R, that's just a bonus for us. We don't really, necessarily need it. We won't turn it down though. It's going to be substantial for a lot of us. So that is designed to happen all together, and the money started being released for this last night at about 6:45 in the evening, with the theory that we would have a completion of at least notifications by 6:45 tomorrow night, Friday night. Now, since that time, there have been a few little mid-course corrections that make it seem as if most everything that I just talked about is going to happen over the weekend, this coming weekend, which is a 3-day weekend. Now, what we're being told is we could get notifications over the weekend, but the exchanges that we make for our currencies and the ZIM that we redeem at the redemption centers, along with our currencies, would start on Tuesday. And so Tuesday would be the 12th of November. So still a few days away. All right, so what we're trying to say here is things are happening behind the scenes to release this and get this out. to us in the way of our emails, to the bondholders. All of that is a very positive thing that's going to happen. Our bank contacts are seeing rates on the bank screen, front screens, for 17 currencies today, and they're locked in. They're solid. Now, I don't know where the redemption center screens are right now, but they're probably not too far off. The tendency is for bank screens to be lit up and solid one day, and then redemption center screens the next. And they've kind of been going back and forth like that. But I know that Sunday, which is the first banking day for Iraq and most of the Middle East, will produce a new rate of the Iraqi dinar. Again, another new rate, which would show up Sunday in Iraq, and they have been already trading and buying and selling using the Iraqi dinar in the Middle East for about a week and a half so far. So that's kind of neat to think of. And there was a time when we talked about regional currencies around the globe, and the Iraqi dinar was said to be one that would be used to do business as the default currency in the Middle East. And it could very well still be that way, even though each country has their own currency. You know, they may say, well, we're going to use the Iraqi dinar in 7 or 8 different countries in the Middle East. So we'll see how that comes out. I'm not worried about that. But it is cool that Iraq is going to come with a new rate. And this would be after the Forex comes back up. Remember, tomorrow at around 5 o'clock, it closes for the weekend for 48 hours, and then it comes back up. It comes back up Sunday at about 5 o'clock Eastern time, and it reopens for the week. So Forex does. So the other thing that we heard today, which was interesting, was that something was to start shortly after 7 p.m. tonight. And we got this from a very good source. And we figured out, finally, we did get a little more information on this. And it was saying basically that security in 3 different areas for us, for the country, would be initiated tonight at 7 o'clock. And this would be for areas, let's see, how did it go? Anyway, it was 3 different types or areas of security concern that would be actually put into effect, let's say. And it should all those 3 areas should be in effect by sometime Saturday. So that's moving forward. And I just think we're really, I would have preferred to have gotten it before next Monday or Tuesday. But as it is now, it looks like we're going to get notified about this over the weekend and set our appointments for sometime starting Tuesday, the 12th of November. Now, the retribution and reconciliation allowance, I've called it a couple of different things. That is theoretically, okay, now let's say it this way. We have bank accounts in the quantum financial system, and our accounts have been mirrored, okay, to where kind of like they can see it, but we can't, like seeing through a one-way mirror. But I think in this case, that mirroring is supposed to come off. And if the R&R of monies for us is already assigned to our bank accounts for direct deposit, they may take the looking glass away sometime over this weekend where we can actually see those accounts. Now, that's an interesting take. We may have it in our quantum financial accounts that we see when we go in for our exchanges, but it could be, and I'm hoping this is the case, that it's already being made as a direct deposit into our, if you're on Social Security, the bank account that you receive your Social Security in or into, and if you're not on Social Security, it would come to your bank account as a direct deposit. Either way, it would be a direct deposit, either to your Social Security bank account or to, if you're not on Social Security, to your regular bank account that you have. And that's going to really be great for everybody, because even if you're young, you would get something, maybe not all of it, but you would get some of that money on a monthly basis. If you're older, 62 or older, I believe, you would get it as a lump sum. into your bank account. Now, we'll see which it is for us, whether it's a lump sum and we actually can identify that and see it as an unmirrored account in our bank accounts, or if not, if we have to wait and we don't see it, but maybe they, of course they know who the Zim holders are unless they've been gifted Zim. So that it may be something that we don't see until we give our Quantum account what it needs to activate, which is our biometric finger or thumbprint, which is our new username and password, our new 5-digit personal identification number code, all of these things. And then we need a brand new email address, and we'll use a new password for our email as well. All those things will be created when you're in. If you can help the thing along and sort of start thinking of what you might want to use as username and password. I can't tell you how many characters it's going to require, though. You know how that is. You got to have at least a minimum of 8. It's probably at least 8, and you want to practice that or get some ideas in mind what you might use, so that you're not sitting there for 5 minutes to try to come up with a username or a password. We're not going to have the time for that. They're going to want to go boom, boom, boom. Let's get this thing going. Come on, let's go. And that's what it could be like. So it'll be fun, though. It'll be good, and I'm excited about that as well. So what I'm saying is, supposedly this weekend should reveal something to us in the way of our emails from Wells Fargo servers with the toll-free number included, and also something about the RNR. And it could be that we get some indication of Nasara and Jasara over this coming weekend. Now, I can't tell you when we're going to get the emergency broadcast system kicking in. You don't have to worry about 10 days of darkness. That was for the deep state. Did you notice how there weren't any skirmishes or any uprisings or anything after the election? No, it never happened, and it wasn't going to. They're totally ready. They were ready for anything, and that's when the communication was turned off for emails and what am I trying to say? for cell service and internet service and all that in some of those deep state areas of the country. So, that was kind of a non-event, which was great. I'm glad it was a non-event. And now we can move on together, unified in purpose. We're going to see a lot of positive things. We're going to see fuel prices go down. We're going to see inflation drop. We're going to see just war stop. And that whole thing in the Ukraine, I think President Trump will have that completely eradicated in weeks, if not days. Also, and it may be so quick we just blink and it has happened. Same thing, he wants peace in the Middle East like we had when he was president, the first time around. And so the world respects President Trump's strength, his ability to negotiate. Remember his book, The Art of the Deal? All of these things. And by the way, kudos and congratulations to the First Lady, Melania Trump, for having a book that she wrote as the #1 bestseller on the New York bestseller list. That's terrific, in the #1 position. I don't know the title of the book, but, that's something you might want to pick up and read. Sounds like a great thing. I know we're all very proud of Melania and how she's working with people and youth and everything else. By the way, Barron, I call him Baron Von Trump, but Baron Trump, I understand, is 6'7". President Trump is 6'3", so Barron is the tallest one in the family now. And that's pretty cool.